Really, Paymate is a fairly unique service which allows small businesses to accept credit card payments online and really be able to sell around the world. With Paymate, basically, you can set up an account and start receiving payments in 3 minutes. So it's speed, to be able to get to market quickly. The second aspect of what we do differently is risk management. We act as the broker between the buyer and the seller. And especially if you're a small business selling to somebody overseas, you have no idea who this other person is. So we act as a trusted broker, if you will, and we have information from both the buyer and the seller, which allows us to reduce the risk of anything going wrong with that transaction. Walking around with an idea for a brokered payment service, I met a company called eBay, which now, of course, is one of the world's largest online auction marketplaces. And what they said was that in Australia, they hadn't got a payment service that would allow individuals on eBay to accept credit card payments from others. They'd been to all the major banks and they'd been turned down. So they said to me, if you can build us a service like that, then we are happy to work with you. So we built a risk management capability around a payment system, and we convinced one of the major banks in Australia to give us a merchant facility to operate the service. As a result of that, eBay agreed that they would launch our service. So we found a need, I guess, and we met it, and it was really the very first person-to-person payment service in Australia. We adopt all of the industry standards in terms of encryption of data, for example. But in addition to all of those things, we also run a whole series of risk assessment tests. We might compare the IP address of the person who's making a payment to find out exactly where they're located. They say they're from America, but they're actually in Nigeria. Then we can turn down those transactions as being potentially fraudulent. Also, I think we've been very innovative. So we've done a lot of firsts in Australia. We built the first person-to-person payment service, as I mentioned. With the tax office in 2002, we built the first electronic BAS lodgement and payment service, which they trialed very successfully. We worked with Austrade and DHL to build a portal for small business exporters called My Exports, which allowed them to accept payments from people overseas, again through bank account payments. What we've done is spend time identifying markets where our service might be more viable. Our first venture has been into China, and what we've done there is created a Chinese English language mall, which allows sellers in Australia to sell to buyers in China. So this provides a new market for Australians to sell into, and it is one way that we are bridging the gap between Australia and the rest of the world with what really is a booming new market, which is China. Online commerce obviously is a booming economy. We think that the size of the market in Australia is about $75 billion, which is a huge market. Only about 60,000 businesses, we think, are actually online in terms of being able to take payments online. We think that'll grow at about 20-25% a year for the next 5 years. So I think our role as providing trust and safety to both buyers and sellers is what's going to create a market which enables these people to trade safely online.